I think we need to normalize having conversations around weddings in a way that doesn't like stigmatize bridesmaids or groomsmen as being bad friends if they're not able to bend over backwards and cartwheel and spend the thousands of dollars that brides and groomsmen expect.
How do I tell the bride and groom of a wedding that I'm attending later this year that the bridal party outfit they have chosen for me is awful and I do not want to wear it in no capacity? Keep in mind, they also asked me to pay for it. So now I'm out of pocket for a dress that I hate. I live in a different state to them, so I had to order online without trying the outfit on before I bought it. It is unflattering, does not suit my shape, and I feel very uncomfortable in it. I do not want to wear this in public. She really is doubling down. I don't want to wear it in public, let alone in front of a crowd of people that I know at a wedding. I had suggested early on that if I'm paying for it, could I please buy a nice dress in the colour that they would like, one that I would be likely to wear again. They insisted, however, that they want everyone to be uniform. Do I have to just suck it up as the day is not about me? Also, this is a destination wedding, so I'm already spending thousands on travel and accommodation to attend.
That to me is shit behaviour from your friend. When you get married, and I know that this is going to trigger some people, I'm very, very sorry if this was how you navigated your wedding, but the most important thing to me is that my friends feel comfortable, and no one is the same body shape. No one is the same size. I would never want someone to be standing next to me feeling uncomfortable, exposed, as though they didn't, they weren't wearing something that even remotely complimented them. And I made them pay for it simply because my desire for uniformity outweighed their desire for confidence and like peace of mind. I think firstly, that's a shitty mentality that your friend had. So like, that's how I feel about that. How do you navigate it now? I would be honest. I would say like, I received the dress online. It really doesn't fit me properly. And I don't think I can wear this. And I know that you have an idea around what you want, but is there any chance that you would be okay with me getting something else? Or maybe there's a different fit from the same designer? Because like a lot of people these days, when you get a bridesmaid's dress, they will get it from the one place, say Shona Joy, for example. It's the perfect example of like a place to get a bridesmaid's dress from, because they'll have the same color, but then they'll have so many different shapes and cuts so that anyone can choose a dress that will fit their body shape rather than it just fitting the theme of the wedding. Do you know what I mean?
I completely agree. I think when I think of my wedding, the first thing that I would think of is that they can pick what they want. Like even with my sister, I've already said to her, what color do you want to wear? Because she's my maid of honor. What dress length? How do you envision it? And she's like, well, why don't you give me a guide of the color theme you want? And I was like, I almost don't care. I'm almost like, as long as you're happy.
Well, usually, and I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I usually think that the bridesmaid conversation around what everyone's wearing, it usually happens as a group. It's usually not just something that the bride dictates down and says, this is what everyone is wearing. But usually you have a WhatsApp group and everyone's kind of like in there and having a chat. Like, what do you think of this option? What do you think of this option?
No, I think there's two sort of parties here. I think one's that where there's the more lax bride that's working for her bridesmaids. And then there's the bride that's like knows what her wedding is to a T. She's probably had those dresses picked out for eternity. But my question is, I also agree. I think you write back and you say, I've never been more uncomfortable in my life. Like, say what you said to us, but a bit more diplomatically. Just say, like, I am thoroughly uncomfortable. There is no part of me that wants to wear this. Like, what are the options here? Do you think we could try? Just ask her. My question, Laura, is what happens then if the bride says no? Can you pull out of the bridal party?
Well, look, I have one other feeling before I get to that part, because like I think you can pull out of the bridal party, but I do think it'll cause a rift and I think it would be upsetting for everyone. I guess the other part of this is the expectation that some brides have for their bridesmaids to self-purchase a dress that they're never going to wear again. I think that that's an unreasonable request, and we need to stop doing that.
That's super standard though, so you know.
Do you think?
No, I know it is. That is how it is. And I don't necessarily agree with it at all, but that's historically, that's what happens. The bridesmaids get sent a dress. Sometimes it's like half is compensated by the bride, but usually it's like, hey, this will be the dress. If you could purchase it, that would be amazing.
Okay, that to me is absolutely insane. So I think it is crazy to expect someone to pay for a dress that you have picked out for them that they're never, ever, ever going to wear again, and they don't have any say in it whatsoever. I think if that's the way it's going to be, then the expectation should be on the bride to pay for the dress. I think if you give them the option, if you're like, hey, here is a few different kinds of dresses, choose the one you like, then that's okay to kind of impart some of the payment or the whole payment. But if you're saying to someone, you have to wear this uniform to my wedding and you hate it, but I don't care, I don't think that that's a very nice way for friends to treat each other.
I've
Am I?
been a bridesmaid a couple of times, and every time I've paid for my dress and shoes, and some of them I've paid for my makeup and my hair and jewelry and transport and accommodation, and it can be really fucking expensive. And there was a time in my life where this was genuinely a really big pressure.
The
I
makeup and hair is weird.
Yeah.
Like that for me, like come and be a part of my party, get ready with me, but get your own hair and makeup. I think the bride, unless there's a really strong reason you can't, but should be paying for dresses. Like if you've asked somebody to come, and they should be paying for hair and makeup. Like if you've asked someone to be part of your day and you've put these specifications on, you can't then lump that sum onto someone else.
I think my situation is the more common one though.
It is.
Yeah.
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 And I know that this comes from a place of more financial privilege. Like I know that I'm able to afford to pay for the dresses for my bridesmaids, and I paid for them. But I guess my thing is if you can't afford to pay for them, or you haven't budgeted for it within your wedding, but yet you have really strict and stringent ideas around what that person has to wear, that to me seems unfair. I think if you don't have the budget to help accommodate your bridesmaids in any way, you can't have the same level of expectations on them.
Well, don't have 10 bridesmaids.
Yeah, or it's an open conversation so that you're making sure that you're not putting your needs and wants as a bride over the financial capabilities of your friends, because that's just not being a good friend at the end of the day.
But not even over the financial capabilities, over their comfort. Like you are so uncomfortable that you are losing sleep over this. Like you do not want to go and stand there in front of people. And I can't imagine what that feels like.
I think we need to normalize having conversations around weddings in a way that doesn't like stigmatize bridesmaids or groomsmen as being bad friends if they're not able to bend over backwards and cartwheel and spend the thousands of dollars that brides and groomsmen expect. I also think that maybe as people who are having our weddings, as the person who's, organizing the day, I understand that there's so much pressure, but really thinking about what are the financial implications that your wedding is having on the people that you love most, and deciding or speaking to them, being open with them to make sure that your friends are okay, because most people don't want to disappoint their best friends. They want to be included, but not everyone can afford the things and the expectations that we're expecting of them. But I know we've gotten into the money side of things, but when it comes to like not just money, like also around their comfort, how do you feel? Do you feel good wearing that? Do you like wearing that? There has to be a limit to it. It may not be the dress that's their favorite dress that they've ever bought, being your bridesmaid's dress, but there has to be some sort of conversation around it. I don't know. I would just feel differently about it.
Well, you can also loan dresses too, guys. Like you can go to dress hire places and loan a dress and then give it back as well. That's like food for thought.
Do you know what is one of the most common questions that we have in the Life Uncut discussion group? It's from people who are bridesmaids who are like, I have been instructed to wear this dress. I have a really big bust and I need something that's going to like cover it or support my boobs, or basically it's saying that the rest of the bridal party don't have big boobs.
Yeah.
I do. This dress is not, it's backless, or, that kind of thing. It gets posted at least once a week.
That's so crazy to me. Honestly, I would love to know, maybe we should do a poll. Have you ever been a bridesmaid? And were you made to wear something that you hated? I would love to know how common this issue is. But yeah, I think, look, if I was you, I would be having a conversation. I wouldn't be accusatory. I wouldn't go in as hard maybe as what you said, Britt, but I would definitely be saying like,
I would.
I feel
That's not hard. I think you can go and say, I'm really uncomfortable. I don't want to wear this. There is nothing wrong with saying to your friend, if you are good enough friends to be in the bridal party, but you don't feel like you can tell her how uncomfortable you are, then that's not congruent for me.
So I'll give you an example of a situation I was in. One of my very good friends, she wanted us all to wear a very specific bridesmaid's dress. It was quite an expensive dress, and she had it in mind that that's what everyone was wearing. But I was 7 months pregnant at the time when she decided on that dress, and then I would have just had Marley. I think I was going to be like 3 months postpartum. So I had no idea what my body was going to be like. I'd never had a baby before. I had no idea if I'd be a size 12 or a size 10 or a size 8. Like I genuinely didn't know. And also there was only limited stock of this dress. So I was like, I don't know how we're going to navigate this. But she ended up buying me 3 sizes of a dress.
Yeah.
She bought me the 8, she bought me the 10, and she bought me the 12. And she was like, I'll figure out the returns process, but I really want everyone wearing this dress and I really want you to be my bridesmaid. She's like, and I don't expect that of you. That was so kind and so considerate, and I felt so included in that wedding, and like there wasn't a pressure on me to be a certain way, because I would have removed myself from being a bridesmaid if I had been expected to fit into a size 10 wedding dress 3 months postpartum.
Yeah, and that's the thing with my sister. She's going to be 6 or 7 months postpartum, I think. So she's got no idea either. So I'll probably end up waiting till quite last minute and
Yeah.
say, like, because I don't
Let's
think
pick
you need to
something.
get. Yeah, I was like, that's for me. It's so easy to pick a bridesmaid's dress because I'm not stuck on anything, and I would rather they feel like they're comfortable.
Yeah. It always surprises me that this is something that people have to navigate. And I just think as the person who is getting married, as the bride and groom, it's something that people should be and need to be way more sensitive about.
I think we do, and we will do, like an entire wedding kind of episode, whether that's a bonus or something in the future, because I'm already getting so many DMs from people like this, like questions, because maybe they know I'm planning the wedding. I don't know, but I'm going through so many different wedding planning things as well already. So I think we'll definitely like collate a bunch of stuff, and maybe we'll do just like a wedding edition.
100%. I mean,
Yeah.
especially now because that's like you were in the wedding orbit, Brit. You're sucked in hard.
I'm deep.
It's happening.